Come follow the brick wall. It's your girl Eva K, and I'm ready to eat. Hey, who ready to eat with me? Who ready to come bread with me? Let's break bread. Come break bread with me. Let's break bread. We about to eat this food and get fed. Come break bread with me. I'm your girl, your host Eva K, and I am with
Nicolsha Scott.
Miss Nicolsha.
Most of y'all know Miss Kosha Cole.
Don't eat yet. We gotta say our grades. Hold on.
I was gonna open it up so I
Okay, so they can see it. Yes, I'm gonna let you pray today.
Oh, bless you.
Our food comes from First Watch.
Yeah.
I have the Florentine bowl with pesto and feta cheese, chicken, and the $1 million potatoes.
Why you ain't get me that?
Cause you asked for that.
That thing like that's good.
You can have some.
You so
sure.
kind. Well, yeah, listen, I don't mind to give you a little. Yeah, this is a farmhouse scrambler. It just has potatoes, avocados, roasted tomatoes. But dang, it's got eggs on it.
Yeah, I don't eat eggs. You can have some of mine, but I don't want none of yours.
Y'all don't judge me. I'm gonna get this little.
Well, you gotta pray first.
I just want to put it over here.
Okay.
I'm praying. I'm gonna give thanks to the Lord.
You got to.
All right, let's do it. Gracious and eternal God, we say thank you for this food we're about to receive in the nourishment of our bodies. God, we ask that you will purify it, cleanse it of all impurities. God, bless the hands that prepared it. Thank you for this awesome set on today. God, I thank you for higher heights, for more connections, more network. I speak the blessing over Eva, over her vision, over her podcast, over her YouTube channel. God, I ask for views and for numbers, for people to like, tag, and share. Father, nothing but blessings, nothing but favor. In Christ Jesus' name, thank God and amen.
Amen.
Let's do it.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
This interview is like 2 years past due. But
man, everything in time, everything in God's time.
You said that. And I want to say thank you for being a boss. Okay?
I'm learning.
You learning. Can you tell me who is Nicolsha?
Wow. That is actually really good.
That's real good.
That made me mad. I'm gonna stay with my regular, but next time I'm getting that.
I'm not.
Kiwan?
Kiwan.
Yeah. Who is Nicolsha? Man, not a lot of people ask me that. Yeah. Not a lot of people ask me that. So that's a really good question. I'm a servant of the Lord, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
A mom. I am an athlete. I'm a businesswoman. I'm love. I try to be joy everywhere I go. I try to be an atmosphere changer, man. I try to
that's a good word.
Be a positive influence everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically if I had to describe it.
So what are you doing right now, entrepreneurship wise, work wise? What does that look like?
Man, so right now I am a full-time entrepreneur. My company, I'm so glad we're here too. It came at such a great time. Is Sweet Tooth. A lot of people know me for other companies, but Sweet Tooth is where I'm at right now. And Scott Solutions. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Ooh, yeah.
That's the construction component. And I'm learning to pivot. But Sweet Tooth is the funnel cake that you will crave, okay? The food truck should be here this week. I've been working on it for quite some time. I've been hush about it. You can find us on Google. You can go to Sweet Tooth Knox on Facebook, Sweet Tooth Knox on Instagram. We have things like funnel cakes, deep fried Oreos, the new invention, the funnel dog, man.
The funnel dog, that sounds crazy.
I'm telling you, it is. So it's my new batter. So a lot of people kind of know the batter that we were using before, and I was looking for something that was going to be my own, that was still going to taste really great and give us a better product. I think I found it, and that's what I'm using right now. It's a brand new product, and I take that beef hot dog. I love it. It's a beef frank. We dip it in that funnel cake batter. We deep fry that thing, and then we top it off with powdered sugar. It is absolutely amazing.
Can't wait to try that.
And I'm not biased. I promise you, it's really good. I've had test tasters to make sure. We know I need to do that. I might need to come back and then I bring all the products and let you tell the people, because I respect the taste. But remember that time I called you from God, where's that at? CM Chicken Wings. Man,
and I still haven't been to CM Chicken Wings. It's just so far. No.
Okay.
I don't drive to Turkey Creek.
I gotta bring you some, because that thing is so good. But yeah, Sweet Tooth is gonna be completely what I do now. Man, I love it. I love it. I've always loved concessions. It's a part of my childhood. I love it, man. I still have snowballs, and they'll be on the trailer as well. That's that New Orleans style shaved ice. The machine spits out spits out ice at the consistency of snow. You put the flavors on it. Oh, I want to give a shout out if you don't mind. Snowman. Shout out to Snowman. So he's the first person that put me on. So when I had to shop at MLK in the early 2000s, he came to buy the shop. He's like, man, you got a good product, but you got a lot of overhead. You need to get a trailer. And that's where our unwavering trailer came from. Okay. He was like, you need to get out there. I can't do all these events by myself. I can only be one place in the city. You take one side, I take the other. He gave me my first 2 events. Like, and people kept trying to...
I love that.
People wanted us to compete so bad. Well, his might taste better than yours. I said, or yours might taste better than his. I said, look, we got the same product. We're in the same city. Like he said, we could only be one place at a time. You know what I'm saying? There's always a Burger King, a McDonald's, and a Crystal's, and a Chick-fil-A. There's always a Popeyes. There's always different kinds. But we all have a good product. And he made me understand that. And he actually put me on. So, like, big shout out to Snowman. And now everybody that's selling snowballs. Also to the water ice company, man. Big shout out to them.
I love me some Angel.
They doing some crazy great things, them. Man. I bumped into him, to her husband. I think it's her husband. I bumped into him. And man, they vibe just, they from Philly, so they call it water ice. So I love it, man. I love it. So just big shout out to them. But yeah, man, anybody in the food industry, man, I'm looking to connect, to continue to grow. That's what I do,
Entrepreneurship. Now, are you still a police officer?
No. So I tried that. Oh, good God. My Lord today. So I started, I was in law enforcement for 7 years. Oh, wow. So most folks don't know, when I went through a divorce, I moved to Georgia for like a year and a half. And then got to Georgia, and the only place that was hiring was the jail. DeKalb County in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, my God. I said, I'm going to try it. So I went to Georgia, got down there, loved it. My sheriff was black. My coworkers were black. It was just a beautiful thing. So I learned law enforcement in that culture, how to be a good officer, what it meant. Just because somebody is incarcerated doesn't mean that they actually did the crime. Or if I see a DC on somebody's paperwork, disorderly conduct, basically that means you made the officer who arrested you mad sometimes. Sometimes you ain't even, so you can't go off of that as an officer. I couldn't go off of that in the jail setting. I'm like, look, I don't know why you're here. My job is to keep you safe and feed you to your court date. And I'm going to treat you like somebody because you still somebody, mama, sister, uncle, brother, whoever. And I'm going to see you when you get out of here, So, started my law enforcement career there. My grandparents got sick, moved me back in 2016. I started working for Knox County jails. A little different in climate and culture. I still stay the same. A lot of people and a lot of us that see me like, appreciate you. And I love law enforcement because I think we really need a lot more of us in the blue suit. It is very, very difficult to be black and to be a woman and to be in a uniform. And most people don't understand that because nobody wants me at the barbecues because I'm 12 one time. Op. No, I'm a mom who got bills. This just happened to be the career field that allowed me to use my gift and talents. I want to treat people right, hold people accountable, and do my job. I told people sometimes when they were in there, it's a couple people that we grew up with. I would run across them in that particular setting. And hey, I said, hey man, no shade. No, listen, who you need to call? I'm going to turn these phones on at 7. I'm going to turn these showers on. And you can make whatever call you need to make. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. Stay away from them. This is how you navigate move. You need somebody like it in there. So no, most people don't give you that perspective. They think, you're about them or you Uncle Tom and this and the third. No, I'm a voice of reason. And some stuff that I'm like, hey, we're not about to have that in here. Treat them and talk to them with respect.
So how do you navigate that though? Because coming up, like in our community, the police is like you said, 12, like, oh, all these other derogatory words that we use as a community when it comes to the blue suit. Yeah. So how do you navigate that? And then on the outside of that, you was a pastor?
Yeah.
And you're an entrepreneur, so it's like, how do you deal with all of that stress?
Man, so I've learned, I think that's why my relationship with God is so close. Because that's all I had to depend on. I couldn't call my mama. My dad's in the military, so I could call him and get his wisdom and advice. But he was dealing with it from a different perspective. So I learned to to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Mm.
If you do that, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm not taking bribes behind the jail because there's people that they have a training called the games that inmates play, and so they'll get you. Some people will. Some people grab me. They want to scam on you. They'll say I can have $700 in your bank account every Monday. Check my account. You look at their books. They got more money on their books than what you got in your bank account. You working, and they mean what they say, but it's at what cost? So my principles and my faith in God kept me to the point, I'm like, hey, I can't take no bribe. Hey, I can't do that. Why? Because my faith says that's not who I am as a person. Mm-hmm. So one, you gotta know who you are and not be afraid to be your authentic self. I think that's why a lot of people get into issues. Hey, this is who I am at my core. I do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, nothing else. And most dudes like, dang, I respect you, man. That's all right. You, okay, yeah. I'm like, yeah. You ain't gonna, if you, hey, bring me some Oreos, and I ain't had no Oreos in such a long time, man, I'll pay you $50. Yeah, this time it's Oreos. Next time, what else is it? Because I got it in her. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm good. Thank you so much, though. And they'll cut you out the first couple times, you know what I'm saying? But after that, you keep on pushing. And then it just falls in line. And then, like being a pastor, it's like, I always want to help. I always want somebody to grow and develop and see people grow past where they've been. So if somebody comes into my atmosphere, into my life, or around my company, or around me as a person, and they leave better than what they came to me. Nobody ever came in contact with Jesus and left worse. You know what I'm saying? And he never asked them what their issue was. He only said, okay, what do you need? How can I help? And so I've learned that if I can be that, somebody's going to be that for me. And I've never had, if I had questions, I go to people who I know the answers, and I get the answers. Why? Because they see that I'm also pay it forward. I'm learning that people with great means, they're not selfish people. They're not gatekeepers. They want you to hold up your end of the bargain. So so when I go to some of my mentors and I say, hey man, this is kind of what I'm looking at, this is kind of what I'm dealing with, they don't give me words of advice in a conversation. They hand me a book, they tell me a training, or they'll tell me something that's going to cost me something. And I've learned that we as a people sometimes don't want to pay the price that it takes to get to the next level. I'm gonna use an illustration, real life scenario. At this point in time, I just came through a divorce. I just got royal, and I was having a really hard time. I only had about $1,500 in my name. Like, that's all I had in my name. Like, I had a car payment, I was renting, everything. It was bad. And I went to one of my dudes. I went to Derek Furlow, and I said, man, he had way more money than I got. Man, that's my dude. And I said, man, this is my situation. And I went to great detail, and he looked at me and said, okay, here's a book. I said, I don't want your money, because he's trying to offer me money too. I'm like his little sister. Okay. So he was gonna say, okay, well, here, I can help you. And I said, no, you said you got a book, give me the book. And this is when I realized that particular moment shifted for he and I. Because he said when I didn't take his money, now I get his help. So he was like, well, I can only give you advice. And if I give you my advice, I gotta help you because I wanna make sure that my advice is actually gonna work. If I give you my help, now I gotta carry you. So now he's like, never ask somebody for their help. Ask them for their advice. And so that's been a crazy piece of information from Derek, because he was like, hey, what advice can I give you that's gonna help you? This book's gonna help you. And the book he gave me was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that book shifted the way I saw money. Because in my life, I had a rich dad and I had a poor dad. My biological father, and I have a whole bunch of other father figures in my life. So it's like, hey, which one of these do I really want to be like? And in the book, both of the dads had the same education. One just had more resources. One had a different thought process. So when I didn't take Derek's money and I took the book, I didn't take his cash, the thing that you could spend. I grabbed a resource. And so now he know he can trust me on another level, because now he know I don't want what's in his pockets. It's just money. The $500 that he was gonna offer me, I was gonna spend it and then still need his help. If he gave me the book fixed the problem that I was needing, which was a money problem. I didn't know how to handle resources. That book shifted my mind on how I seen my dollar. So now I don't need your $500, and I never will.
I'm gonna go get that book.
Tell you another one you need. The Richest Man in Babylon. I just finished reading that book, and it shifts my mind in a whole different perspective, especially for entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur, listen to this. So one of the stories in the book is about a guy who he's a wagon maker. He makes chariots, right? And so it's a lucrative business in Babylon. You making chariots. Who are buying chariots? Wealthy people. So if you sell enough chariots, you should pretty much fare well. He's not. He's bad with money. So he says, I'm spending every dime I get. I'm not receiving the wealth that I'm supposed to be receiving, and everybody around me is wealthy and enjoying it. What's wrong with me? I felt the same way. I'm like, man, my company's 6-figure. Yes. 6 figures ain't enough. Because if you're making $100,000 and you're being taxed in that bracket, then the 15.3% self-employment tax. You don't even give Jesus 15.3%.
Give him 10.
So there go 25.3% out of your. So say $100. There go basically $30 out of your 100. Just in tithe and taxes. You still haven't even lived. And God forbid you have debts. So he says, I need to go figure out how my friend who grew up in the same community I grew up in, who, started out the same means I started out, how's he the richest man in Babylon? And we started out in the same seat. How? He went to him and talked to him. Arcad gave the man a couple pieces of advice that some of the stuff I was doing subconsciously didn't even know I was doing. And then some stuff I didn't even take into account. The man, first principle he gave, and I'll give you two principles. First principle he gave was, 1/10 of everything you make is yours to keep. Don't sound like much. 1/10, so basically a dime out of every dollar. Or $1 out of every 10, or 10 out of every 100. So if you make $100, $10 of that $100 is yours to keep. I was like the dude in the book. I was mad. What you mean? Only everything I make is mine to keep. Mine's 10% for the Lord, but that's mine to keep. The 90 is mine. No, it ain't. Let's put it in today's perspective, because that's in Babylonian times. In today's perspective, you pay KB, you pay a mortgage, you got car note, car insurance, you need food, you need gas. If you have children, they have needs. So, how you putting up for your savings if you're paying everybody else and not you? How you paying everybody else but you? So I said, I was subconsciously putting back, some here and some there. But what I've learned from the book is the consistency, and then over time, right? He says put back the minimum of 10%, and then if you can, do more, as your budget will allow. So it takes discipline. That's a cuss word in the entrepreneur world. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Most people are not disciplined. They won't do the thing consistently. I had to learn it about myself. I wasn't as disciplined as I thought.
Consistency is hard.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So it's like, okay, I don't try to be consistent over a long period of time. I try to be consistent tomorrow. So if I'm putting this up today, if I'm doing this today, guess what? I only gotta do it again tomorrow. Hey, dang, I read like I was supposed to read. I put my little coin up yesterday. I gotta do that same thing again tomorrow. So if I put it short, realistic goals, that's what I do. I set small, realistic goals that I can achieve. And I achieve goals every single day. Even if it's, today my goal was to come and meet you, enjoy this tea, shed a little bit of light on kind of what I do, and help somebody. That was my whole goal today. I'm gonna do my workout, I'm gonna read my scripture, I'm gonna do everything I gotta do for my business. I still got some paper I gotta do. And then guess what I'm doing tomorrow? Same thing. Get up in the morning, try to be a blessing to somebody, read my scripture, do my workout. I don't gotta worry about next week. What about today and tomorrow?
I love that. I love that perspective. So with you doing Sweet Tooth, with you being a mother, Then where do the construction come in at? Because you still have this whole other
entities. So, man, I started out self-performing the work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I learned to be a student in everything that I do. So I'm like, hey, I've been doing concessions and food for over 5 years now. So I've mastered that. So I'm like, okay, I got that. That was almost on autopilot running by itself. So now shifting into construction, I gotta go learn it. I literally took time away from my son and I went to Georgia. I went to the Heavy Equipment College of Georgia, learned how to work skid steers, mini X's, excavators, and I wasn't the best at it. Literally, that school I felt like just taught me how to turn the machine on to safety, which is really what you need.
Mm-hmm.
I linked up with Paul Collier and RWB Construction, and that man literally took me from nothing to something. Even supported me, and when I found out I like drywall, I mean, I love drywall. Like, this thing is rock. I can fix patches, I can hang mud and tape. I'm actually pretty good at it, and it's stress relieving. That's nothing too. I actually like what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Some people
That's
get
important.
in it. Some people get in it for the money. I would do this for free.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So I just like I just like seeing, like, for instance, Tyrone Jackson, shout out to him, plug for him and his HVAC company.
Tyrone.
He called me earlier this week, had an issue with a drywall hole. They were doing HVAC, put it in, but that was so stress relieving. I literally got to cut the hole out, pull it out, fix the patch, put the mud on, smooth it, sand it back down, and it went from being a hole there to being smooth, and they can paint it and do whatever they gotta do. So I find joy, peace, and stress relieving in the things that I actually do every single day. I don't do something that's gonna stress me out.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody looked at me and was like, man, you look the exact same from high school. I was like, yeah, I'm living for the Lord to do that, baby. And leave them hard stuff alone. You know, and then finding joy in the things that you do every day. Like, I just, like I said, I took a course at Heavy Equipment College. It was probably about maybe 6 weeks long.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back home, but I would go down during the week. I'd come on the weekends. And I did that for 6 weeks.
And you went and found that knowledge. Like, I want to do this. They don't have it in my city.
I gotta go get it.
I gotta go get it.
And I paid.
You paid for it. So what was your upbringing like? Because
I love it.
I want to know that, because one thing that has stuck with me that you said, you used to come to my house because I was like, I need a mentor, and I just seen what you were doing in the community. And to be honest, you were my blueprint. I don't know if you know that, because I was always just so angry and so mad. But every time I seen you, just the way people gravitated towards you, just the way your energy was, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to switch it up. And I don't have the resources around me, so I'm going to go get it. And I knew you from childhood,
Yeah,
you know, Lily. I grew up with Lily, you know. So I was like, I really just need to talk to her. I just need to.
And the lines have always been open.
Talk to her. So when you came to my house, Anaya was just in our face, so I kept saying,
No, that's fine.
Anaya, go sit down, go sit down. You said, no. We're not talking about anything that she don't need to hear. She needs to be in here and hear this. And that just shifted something for me, because I was always taught, when grown-ups talking, kids, you go in there.
That's a problem in our community and our culture. So how I grew up, and then we'll get back to that. How I grew up, my dad was in the military. So he did 26 years and 12 days. He was always moving. I spent half of my childhood on a military base. As an only kid when I was with my dad. When I'm with my mom, it's me, my mom and Lily, of course, and then my stepbrothers. So I went from being the only child at times to being in the household like, oh my God, Daddy, please get out the bathroom. Lily and all her friends, Shayana, Jonisha, Unica, all the kids just packed down at the house. So like, my mom was a hustler. My mom was an entrepreneur. So she worked as a CNA and she owned a daycare. So I seen it. You know what I'm saying? I watched my mom get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? She was a single mama too. And her marriage was up and down and fluctuating. So she said, you know what, I'm not going to sit down and know. I love CNAs because my mom been a CNA my whole life.
Hello.
She got her CNA stuff in 94. You understand? Mama D been doing it for a time. You understand me? But she was like saying that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. I was working in law enforcement and it just wasn't enough. That people were laughing at me like I didn't make money. You work in a ball game, you work in a football game, or you just a little security guard. I said, you laughing, but you don't know the check I got. While you chilling, I'm on vacation. You still renting, I own. But I'm just a security guard. But I watched my mom and I watched my dad. My dad owned a club. He was in the military, but he owned a club called Club of Johnny's in Louisiana. That's where the snowballs came from. And I seen it down there. So I mean, my mom loved church. She drugged me to church.
Mm-hmm.
I could not stand church. Do you understand me? Because first of all, I was a basketball player. And you make me wear a dress that itch, and that's before jersey dresses came out. So I was like, Mom, please don't make me go in here. Oh my God. And they wasn't preaching like we preach today.
Mm-hmm.
They was preaching hellfire and brimstone. You better get saved, the Lord gonna get you. He gonna get me. Wait a minute.
Hold on now.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that ain't Jesus. And that's what made me want to read for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me take this scripture and see what it's saying for me. You know what I mean? But I seen entrepreneurship. They didn't do it the best, but they did what they did, and I got to see it. I was exposed to it. So I was like, dang, if my mama can get it and my daddy can get it, surely I can.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I tried to, like you said, I tried to become a student of whatever it is I want to do. And I grew up like I said, between my mom and dad. I did not, you know what? Here's a funny story. I did not know they didn't like each other until I got grown. Real talk. I did not know that my mama did not like my daddy until I was grown. Hey Deandra, hey Marvin. Is she in there? Yeah. I'm like, I heard them. You know what I'm saying? But it never clicked. Hey, call your mom right quick to see what she wants you to do. I said, okay, hey mom, my daddy said this, that, and the third. Tell your daddy I said no. Daddy, my mama said no. Well, ask her, can we do this? Hey mom, my daddy said, yeah. Well, if he can do this, my mom said, could you do this? Yeah, okay. It never clicked. When they got around each other, you doing all right? I'm doing good. How you been? I've been doing all right. That's good. Nicolsha said she want to be with you for the summer. Or what you gonna do? I'm gonna buy her a car. I want to do this, and third. Okay, well if you buy the car, she need to pay her own insurance and her own gas because I'm not gonna be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And they worked together. My daddy got remarried. They worked. I never knew it. I got grown one day. Mom was like, "Tell your daddy this, and the third." But I ain't gotta talk to her. You grown. I was like, "Oh, okay." My daddy ain't gotta talk to you. Tell her I wasn't concerned about that anyway. I'm just saying my grandchild. She was staying for Royal. Oh, I forgot we got a grandchild together now. I'm like, y'all, I can't stand her, man. I was like, what? I can't stand your daddy. What? Y'all don't like each other? We ain't never liked each other. We liked each other for you. And I was like, wow.
Wow.
Y'all were grown.
Wow.
You know, a lot of people argue all this. I did not know it. They didn't yell in front of me. They didn't argue in front of me. I never knew it. But that's just how I grew up.
Mm. And
And then my dad has a strong principle. You know what he tell me? Figure it out. If I call my dad, I can call him crying, I can call him upset, I can call him frustrated. He'll listen. If he have one or two little nuggets, he'll drop it. But at the end of the conversation, he reminds me of two things.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you're a Scott. Number two, guess what he tell me? Figure it out.
Figure it out. Listen, I'm about to start telling people that when they call me like this and figure it out.
But here's the thing though, with your daughter, right? With my son. So
And they're both 7.
they're both 7. So I exposed my son. My mom tells me this. He talked, so she old school. He talked back too much. Mm-mm. No, he doesn't. That's a man.
Mm.
I am cognizant. I'm keeping it in my mind. That's somebody's husband and father.
Mm.
I can't muzzle him. I need to know what he's thinking. I need him to be able to look me in my face. My son can actually he has the authority to look at me and say, Mommy, I'm mad at you. A lot of black people, y'all just disagree with me right there. And that's fine. But here's why. If he can look at me and advocate for himself, there's not a face he can't look at and advocate to.
Mm.
We're raising our kids in a different generation. So I'm saying, okay, Royal, why are you mad at Mommy? You won't let me play soccer today. I said, I paid the soccer fee. Yeah. I bought you the cleats and the shin guards. Yeah. I take my vehicle that I paid for, put gas in, and drive you to practice. Yeah. You didn't do your math homework.
Mm.
The agreement is you're a student athlete. You're a student first. If you don't do your academic portion, you can't participate in sports. I don't care how good you are. The coach like, we need him out. He needs this education.
You gotta hold up his end of the deal.
Yeah, and he knows it, and I hold him accountable. So what I say to him is, okay, son, you didn't do your classwork in class. Your teacher sent your homework home. Go ahead and knock it out before practice, right? You get out at 2:45. Practice don't start till 6. You got 12 problems. Knock that joint out. Guess what he tells me? I don't feel like it.
Okay.
Do I yell? Do I argue with him? When it's time for soccer practice, what do I say? No, help me.
I don't feel like
I don't feel like it. Well, why not? Is your work done? No. You can't even go anyway. Well, why not? You did not feel like doing your work. I hope you don't feel like playing soccer. So now he has to say, okay, oh shoot. Now I gotta do this work. Cause why? I want to play soccer. Then he didn't realize that the practice is on Thursday, games are on Friday. Guess what you're not doing if you didn't come to practice on Thursday?
Okay, playing that game.
But you can show dress up and sit there and support your teammates. And cheer them on. Why? Now my son has just learned a valuable lesson. I didn't have to whoop him. Life is not going to physically whoop him. I whoop my son and nothing would change.
No.
When he had to start making that exchange and war within himself, oh, I'm mad at you, Mommy. I said, it's not Mommy's fault. It's your fault. Man up. At 7, man up. Now, are you still mad at Mommy? A little bit. I said, that's okay. You're going to be mad at Mommy a lot more, right? And I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is, baby, you're making you think you're this great athlete. You don't have the mind to go behind it. I'm not okay with that. That's my only son. So all my eggs are in one basket. You have no choice but to do well. Because there's going to come an exchange. I'm going to need you more than you ever needed me. I'm getting older. You're not. So do I give you the resources and tools to protect yourself and to provide for yourself now and continue to use those and make those financial mistakes, whatever, in my household? Yes. Because you won't do it. If you make I don't care if you make a $10 mistake. I can't afford for you to make a $100,000 mistake. You're going to be the future CEO of my company. You need to start learning how to deal with your affairs and communicate now. His wife is going to be a communicator. We're going to want to sit down and talk about our feelings. And if my son has never had practice talking to a woman about his feelings, how do I ever expect him to be cognizant and to be loving and caring to his wife if I've never gave him the opportunity to do that at home? We get mad at the man for not wanting to hold a baby, but we said boys shouldn't play Barbie dolls. Now, I'm not saying let your boy play Barbie dolls, but I'm saying let him hold a Barbie doll. That's a good daddy. Me and my sister got into it one time over there. I said, hey, he's good in his masculinity. That's a man. He a good daddy. That's what he's doing. He's been a good father. You hug that baby, you love that baby, you protect that baby. But our community's not ready for that conversation.
No, they're not.
You know? Somebody said his hands on his hips. I said, that's a man. He tired. He tired. He put his, he on the soccer field. He tired. Stop doing that. That's a man.
Wow.
In every sense of the word. And when I say that man is all man, I said, man, you can't jump on mama like that, boy. You don't be climbing on my back like that. Get off me, boy. That's why I get on Facebook sometimes like, y'all boy, mom's okay.
We're not.
I said, boy, don't tackle me like that.
We're not. So let me ask you this, because
Sure.
before we get up out of here.
Yeah. Oh, man, time be flying, don't it?
35 minutes and they don't even know.
We need a part 2.
We want to do a part 2, period, because we can't give all the nuggets away.
And I'll bring Sweet Tooth down.
Yes.
The thing is, I'm so cool and so confident in me that I ain't got to impress you. Like I told you earlier today, I'm not going broke in Knoxville, trying to convince people in Knoxville I'm not broke. I'm not going to change up myself. Here's another thing. When you have a father in your life, the rest of that stuff, my ponytail used to be messed up, big t-shirt, baggy shorts. Guess what my daddy told me? I'm beautiful. My daddy told me I look good. I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I look good.
I'm that girl.
So put things first. So when you fall in love with you, you don't have to worry about who don't.
I love that.
I love me some me. I love Miss Nicolsha. Come on. Love me. I got a son to raise who loves me. Baby, I just need them to catch up.
Oh.
Show me you can lead me.
Yeah, we're going to do a part 2. We got to get out of here. I love y'all. Thank you, Nicolsha.
Man,
this was
always
amazing.
A pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Shop Sweet Tooth. Can't wait for those funnel dolls.